Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. It's a rainy Friday afternoon that just makes us ache for writing even more. I'm here with Richard, freshly back from Washington, D.C.
That's right.
Wow. Are your elbows raw from rubbing elbows with... that's a great trip. We've got a lot of exciting news today. Most of the Janus crew is loading up out front. They're headed for a camping trip.
In the rain.
In the rain, yep. We're a hardy bunch. So they're loading up some bikes, and we're going to do a Griffin photo shoot and have some fun this weekend in the rain. But Richard and I are here with Jordan behind the camera. You all out there, welcome Craig. If you're coming in from anywhere outside of wherever you're at, throw your name, and if you got a bike number up there, say hello. We'd love to hear where you're coming from. I am Grant. I'm the general manager at Janus Motorcycles. If you've never seen me before, this is Richard. Richard is the founder and lead design brains behind these beautiful bikes you see behind me. So we're going to dive right in with some of the awesome things that have been happening here. Like I said, Richard just got back from Washington, D.C. He was at a Grow with Google event. And if you don't know what that means, I don't blame you. But it's been 5 years since Google sent out a film crew to do a feature on Janus Motorcycles. And we were featured as a small business that uses Google to grow.
That film crew, they spent almost a week out here, made a wonderful video on us that showed not only how we use Google, but just a great story about us that really got us some good press as well.
It was like a full union film crew. I mean, like, we tried to help them, and they're like, nope, we can't help. You know, it was like all the union rules. It was very educational on that end, and also we learned a lot about how, major film crews film something. It was a really fun kind of activity to step back and see what was going on. And then Richard and I, that following fall, we went out to Mountain View to learn a lot about the
Googleplex.
The Googleplex, yeah, it's like a college campus from the future or something. But so now they invited you back to Washington, D.C. Long story short.
That's right.
Tell us about it.
We got to learn about more about how many more other companies. There are 50 companies, again, like that previous time, essentially representing small businesses that use digital tools, not just Google's tools, around the country, and learning about how legislation, especially some of the new legislation, can affect our businesses, and as well as some training and an opportunity to speak with our representatives. So we got to meet with one of our senators Todd Young, with a member of his staff. But it was really informative. It's one of those things that, as small businesses, we do use especially Janice. You're watching this on a digital platform, and making sure that our voices are heard, as well as all the other small businesses that use advertising and YouTube and all those things. So it was really informative. We got to meet a lot of people, a lot of other really, really, really neat small businesses, much like the last time we did it. It's kind of incredible to meet just the wide range, anything from a guy with a blog on how to make recipes to kids bicycles.
Really, like the balance bikes.
Bikes, Strider bikes.
Strider bikes. I see a future collaboration that would be cool to have a Halcyon Strider bike. Would be. When people come in and say, "How do you run your business? What kind of software stack do you use?" and I just say Google Sheets. Because you look at our live streams on it right now, but and we'll throw that Google video up in the notes.
I'll look for it real quick.
Yep. But usually the TV sitting right here has a giant Google sheet with, 140 columns on it, and that is our rolling production schedule, and that's been the way that we run our production schedule, just on a free spreadsheet software from the very beginning, really actually until Jacqueline made the spreadsheet. But and our parts list is hosted on Google, and our customer list is hosted on Google Sheet, and they all talk together with fun little communication. So that was really an awesome opportunity for you, and thanks for representing us. While you were out there, you were a major, you were a jet setter because you were also interviewed by your alma
we double
mater.
booked ourselves.
Yeah, we double booked ourselves. Yeah, that was a better way of saying our book is full. No, we double booked ourselves. Behind you see this very, the actual name of the powder coat is called Gold Glitz. It's a very glitzy Halcyon 250 that we made specifically for Notre Dame Day, which is a giant, they raise funds for all sorts of Notre Dame affiliated clubs and fundraisers and charities. It's a massive fundraising event, and they asked Richard to be on an interview, and we said, yeah, and even better, we'll meet and raise and make a Gold Glitz Halcyon 250. We did not put the Notre Dame logo on it because you can imagine what royalty fees for putting an ND on anything are. But it's a wink and a smile towards Notre Dame. We've got gold flake powder coat, navy pinstripe, deep green secondary pinstripe. The only thing that's missing is a gold football helmet, and you'll be ready to tailgate this fall. So if you honestly, if you want to buy it, call us. It's ready. You can buy it if you're a Notre Dame guy or you're just into gold.
Yeah, it's a gold.
It's definitely gold.
It's pretty bright.
So you were interviewed on Notre Dame Day virtually, and tell us about that a little bit too. Yeah.
So having gone to Notre Dame, that's how I ended up here in Indiana actually, and in a lot of ways started Janice. A lot of people ask how I jumped from architecture to founding a motorcycle company 3 months after I graduated. It's becoming more clear to me as time goes on, but
or at least you're getting better at telling a story.
Yeah, exactly.
Choices,
Notre Dame's, just briefly, their architecture program is absolutely unique in the world as a program that focuses on traditional and classical architecture, which means architecture that looks to the past and the future.
Oh, I wonder how. What's that all about?
And so I do use it all the time, and a lot of the theory that I took there has been really instrumental with what we do here at Janice. So anyway, I talked about how I was at a Google meeting, managed to zoom in for their Notre Dame Day. Talked a little bit about what we do here and the impact that Notre Dame's had on me, which is obviously significant, and then introduced this bike right here, which I feel like some Notre Dame fan out there really deserves to have in their garage.
In their man cave, their Notre Dame football cave. A lot of the times we look for an opportunity to talk about the why we do things here, and this is a great little entree into it. anybody out there that hasn't checked out our shorts, YouTube Shorts, or on Instagram Reels, the social media world is a jungle right now, and everybody's trying to do the same thing. But if you see all the kids these days holding their phones vertically and watching videos, this is what we're on. Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, it's all the same thing. And we've been doing a really cool little series of some beautiful riding footage with us talking about some of the why we do things here. And one of the subjects that we talk about is classic design. And one of the things that has been fun here, getting an idea for how you operate with design and how we build a company, is if we need to do something new, if we're looking to what comes next, one of our first impulses is to say, what have people done before? And you can see that throughout the entire motorcycle. Every day that we look to update things, we are not reinventing anything, really.
No.
It's kind of a remix or a or a inspired by. Or can you talk about how your architecture education has? I mean, in some ways, it's the same. You're doing the same thing. You like, the Tony Fole book about suspension or frame design,
or Ken Sprayson with the frame we use. No, in architecture, or especially in like traditional architecture, the whole idea is that you gain the ability to make choices and to be original through and find originality through understanding the ways that things have been successful in the past, and that oftentimes is codified into a sort of some sort of order or a framework in which things are expressed, because we've discovered that over time that is the most successful, like behaviorally, like psychologically, all these like really deep reasons why, like in architecture, you have the orders, like the columnar orders, or the way that a building has a top, a middle, and a bottom, all kinds of stuff like that. And the same thing can be said of all aspects of human life, and I think we argue that it can be said of a motorcycle as well, that you can find by looking at the way things have been done and how they've been done successfully on great motorcycles, like what we would call like classic motorcycles, that bikes that really have made a mark and have been successful on a number of levels. Those have something to teach us about why we like riding motorcycles. Grant and I have actually talked about, in the 1990s, the motorcycle kind of reached a point of diminishing returns, where when a motorcycle can go over 200 miles an hour, is speed really a frontier anymore? Do you need to go? Do you need to even go anywhere near that? Or certainly, do you need to go any faster than that? And then certainly the same thing is true with power, with all kinds of different aspects of it. So that makes you ask the question, where are we now with the state of motorcycles? Like, or is the reason that we get on a motorcycle, is that different now than it was 80 years ago? And I think our thesis is, no, we get on them to have fun. And the fun, that concept of the kind of fun you have on a motorcycle is what we're poking at when we talk about rambling. And that's like we think motorcycles that is like the activity that you're looking for when you're interested in a motorcycle, or you're learning about them, or you're swinging your leg over it for the 500,000th time.
Or like on the podcast, Tim Masterson's millionth mile, or whatever.
Exactly. So to understand that does not necessarily mean everything has to be totally new every single time. It means that to really hone in on what that is, you need to study how it's been done the most successfully in the past, and try and use those. Let's just be kind of those rules that you've discovered to make something totally new. Like our things our bikes are new and unique, an original, but they look to the past and the future.
Yep.
So
And that can be done on a societal level or on a personal level too. Like one of the things that we hear a lot, up front on the sales floor is people come through and they say, I look back over, I've ridden 200 motorcycles and my favorite one has been blank.
Yep.
And they have,
Yep.
on an individual history, people have these high points that they're looking to justify or remember or honor or get back to. We hear Trail 90s a lot. We hear,
T200s.
T200, yeah, all these beautiful little bikes from years of yore or whatever, and they say, I just want to get back to when it was so fun and free. And it feels like this kind of ache to, for the halcyon days of getting back to when it was fun. And we're saying, like, you don't have to listen. we've got a solution for you. You don't have to kind of buy into this idea that you got to buy a 200 horsepower bike to be a motorcyclist or a 1,200 pound bike. So that's the undergirdment of most everything that we do here. So thanks for talking through that. That's I'm gonna go. We got real deep. I'm gonna go way up, and we're going to last live stream we did. That was just 2 weeks ago. I'd just gotten back from. I was gone. Yeah,
you were gone.
I was watching on the road safely. I was heading home from Arkansas and St. Louis, and we had just dropped a bike off at Moto Europa in St. Louis. Speaking of classic motorcycles, it's a great segue. Moto Europa is owned by an individual named Stephen Smith, and he is a massive developer in St. Louis. He's also an architect, and he has this beautiful pre-war collection of classic motorcycles and also a motorcycle-inspired museum, hotel, and restaurant, and a dealership. Triumph, Ducati, Aprilia, Moto Guzzi, Vespa, Piaggio, I think. Don't hold me to all those, but I know the Triumph and the Ducati one is true. And now we have a Janus displayed at Moto Europa in St. Louis. It's a perfect spot for that. Talk about a great history and a great culture of motorcycling in St. Louis and at Moto Europa. The Janus fits in just perfectly between a Triumph Bonneville and a flying squirrel or a flying, what do they call it, the Merkel or whatever the...
Which one?
Yeah, I know. But there's lots of those.
The squirrel is a two-stroke.
Yeah,
yep.
And there's one of those on the floor. So if you're in the St. Louis area or the greater Missouri area or Kansas City and you're within a driving distance of Moto Europa, go hang out with those guys, see a Halcyon 250 on the floor. We're going to get more signage and more of the good stuff to surround it with. But if you want to ride home on a Janus 250, you can go to Moto Europa and do that. Everything okay with audio, Jordan? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. The other exciting thing, we have a bike on display at a high-end men's store in Fayetteville, Arkansas. A great Janus fan wants to put a Halcyon 450 on the floor. It's called Walker Brothers. If you want to look good in the South, you go to Walker Brothers and get kitted out with all sorts. They have Filson, they have beautiful designer blazers, shoes, and now they have a Halcyon 450 on the floor. So if you want to see what you look like with a new pair of spats and a blazer and...
It's a good segue into a DGR.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man, good outline, Richard. I don't know if you meant it or if you just
didn't.
stumbled into it, but go check it out at Walker Brothers. We also have a 250 up the road at Moped U. So we've got a nice little triad of different styles of outlets for us to kind of see how things go. We've always been dipping our toe into dealerships while trying to retain the kernel of what makes Janus special, which is this place that we're in right now, and the ability for you to customize your bike and make it your own style statement with 1,000 different options.
Which we're also going to talk about today.
Yep, absolutely. So next on the list, if you haven't heard of DGR, Richard's going to tee us up for DGR, which stands for the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride.
Yes, so we've talked about this a lot, but we have some updated info. I'll give you a quick description. The Distinguished Gentleman's Ride was founded, I believe in Australia, and the goal is to raise funds and awareness for men's mental health and prostate cancer research. It's a really worthy cause. It is not a ride only from gentlemen, though. You can, gentlewomen and men can participate in the DGR. They do require that you have a classic or they should just say Janus motorcycle to participate, but you dress
Unfortunately, it's sponsored by
it's
Triumph.
sponsored by Triumph, but you dress up in your finest and meet up for a ride. You can either do it if there's not a ride near you, you can do it on your own in your own little hometown, or if you're near a larger town like for us, South Bend or Indianapolis or Chicago. It happens all over the world. The date is, and I'm going to write this, May 21st, and so next month, and it's a really great worthy cause, and it's just a lot of fun. We will be participating in the South Bend ride, and we
Are hosting
the end of it. So it'll start in Granger, and at Villa Macris, we have information on our blog on where the route, all the details. We also have a Janus team, which means that we can just online. It doesn't matter where you're riding, but you can join the Janus team, and we can all raise funds together. And the update on that is, our first goal was $1,000. We blew past that within the first week. Second goal was $3,000, and we've just blown past that as of, I believe, yesterday.
Great.
So we've raised over $3,000 for men's mental health and cancer awareness. And I think we may need to raise that again. Because we got some time. This time we have 20 members of that team. I know there are more Janus owners out there, so please help spread the word. We will also be doing that as the event comes closer. But anyway, it's a great, fun weekend event for a good cause.
If you've never been a part of a large ride before, it's a great like get out of your shell or comfort zone and show up at Chicago, for instance. It's really well organized. Like you get there and there's 300 to 600 motorcycles, and they have a great setup where they plug the intersection so you all ride as a group. And it's an exhilarating feeling driving down Wacker Drive along the river and hearing 600 motorcycles roaring around. Everybody dressed to the nines. It's not like you got your billy clubs and you're breaking mailboxes or anything. No. It's like the most gentlemanly or elegant. There you go. Yeah. Ride, and people are honking at you and waving, and it just feels like you're on parade because you are. Yeah. And it's for a good cause. So if you do not have to ride a Janus. Bonus points if you do. You can join our team even if you don't ride a Janus. Get on there, raise funds for Janus. For Distinguished Gentleman's Ride through Janus. Help us meet our goals and join in the ride. We will be starting at Villa Macris in Granger, which is north of South Bend. It's about 1 hour west of here, and the ride will be lifting off at 10 or 11. Check
all
out
the information is on our blog. So how to sign up, how to, and where the actual ride starts. Just check out the blog on the Janus site.
Great. Don't take my word for it. Go to the link.
Jordan just posted a link there.
Awesome.
Craig said he's attending in Chicago.
Nice, Craig.
Nice.
Great. We have a very exciting, another great segue. This is a little chip.
Oh, yeah.
RAL 6021 GL. This stands for Grant Longabaugh. No, it doesn't. We have an exciting announcement.
Grant has wanted this color for a long time. I know,
yep. This will be our new special edition color this spring. We were looking for any feedback on names. We may or may not take your suggestion. But, this will be coming up on 2 Halcyon 450s that we're building for display at some here in the shop and abroad. And anybody can order this color starting now. It is beautiful, kind of this minty, sagey, dusty green. This will be our special edition color for the season.
It's going to go really well with saddle brown.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Jordan's got a...
I don't know if I can pull it up.
Okay, that's okay. We've been playing around with the renders. They will go live in a couple of weeks. You can get on our website. If you've been looking for a chance to jump over the edge of the cliff and get on a Janus motorcycle and get your order in, this is a very special reason to do that.
Boy, I can't imagine there's some really neat pinstripe colors that could go with that.
Yep. Even some zany ones like
turquoise.
Yep. Yep. We're doing a double black and silver feather. And we're also doing cream and copper, which all look really sharp. So if you want to buy our new Halcyon 450 with our new color for a short time only, you get $450 off of 450, $250 off of 250. We are happy to talk through that with you. We are in the business of selling, building, and shipping and riding motorcycles, so that's what we're here for. And we try and make it as fun as possible, and it is a really fun process. The deep dive that we're going to do today on today's live stream is we're going to take this little rig mobile and we're going to talk through. We do things so differently here that sometimes it's just nice to get explicit and talk through what you can get on a bike, what that means, what all the options look like, what the hell is going on. We don't have a lineup of bikes that you're like, I want black, Henry Ford style. You can have any color so long as it's black. There's hundreds of different combinations that you can get of color and kit. And it's meant to be empowering and fun and a creative process, not burdensome or stressful. And sometimes folks get in their brains, and I tell people to go with their gut and get a bike that they just kind of makes their mouth water a little bit. Before we head over there, is there anything that we need to... Oh, you're going to talk about what's coming up. You're headed on the road again, Richard.
Well, it'll be a little bit, yes. But we will, first up, I'm going to do another ramble stream this Sunday evening at 7. I've got a couple of design things. I've got to decide which one we're going to do. But if you haven't heard about that or watched it, it's just a real casual, about 7 o'clock on a Sunday evening, I come into the shop and we'll get online and design some stuff, just hang out, drink a beer, bourbon, I don't know, whatever your flavor is.
Yep.
And it usually lasts about an hour, and it's just a good time if you have questions. Last one was really fun. We got into designing a machine part, and we had a couple of machinists on the stream, and they were making suggestions, which I took. And so it was great. It was a really neat interactive experience.
You'll be able to show the result of that, right?
I'll actually be able to show you the finished product that we designed, which, by the way, we shipped off to Carb, and it passed. It worked perfectly. Yeah. Big success there. Yep. So, yeah.
Awesome. Sad that you have to make a carburetor tamper-proof, but the design works.
It's true.
So.
The next event will be, I'll be going to the LiveWorks, the PTC is the parent company of the software that we use for design, Onshape. If you're curious about that, hang out for the ramble stream on Sunday evening, because that's what I use to do the design on that. But we're going to be going to that. And
Word on the street is sometimes you even recite poetry on the ramble stream, Richard.
Yes,
Great.
I do. I will be doing a presentation on how we used Onshape following the way we used it on the 50cc, and how we've shifted from doing pretty much all hand drawing and very rudimentary design from when we started the company to now advanced 3D design with finite element analysis and all the advanced features that we're able to use now with modern, state-of-the-art design software.
Great. Let's read through the comments a little bit.
Yeah.
Dan and Andrew are saying they're joining us on DGR. They've got 450 number 120, 121. You guys had an awesome trip up the Michigan coast, which is the Midwest's California without the California baggage. It's great. What did they say? Salt-free since 12 BC or something like that. Great to have you here, Andrew and Dan. Can't wait to see you guys in a couple weeks. Seth asks if Tyler and Mitch have shared the Jeffersons yet. No, they haven't. Maybe they're saving it for the camping weekend. I will make sure I get some of that, Seth. Thank you for doing that. If that's Seth Markowitz from Virginia, North Carolina, new owner. Welcome to the fold, Seth. Hope we get to build you a 450 or whatever you want someday. Pre-cut PPF for tank tops. What's PPF?
What's that?
Protection film.
Oh, yeah. That's a great idea.
I like that.
859 says Dusty Sage with cream and copper.
Dusty Sage.
That's not my name, but it's a nice one.
You're responsible for the dust.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're responsible for the dust. We'll take care of the sage. Also, that would be my country band cover name, I think, my stage name. With cream and copper would be exquisite. Paul Anderson, build a pit bike. That would be a lot of fun. Craig is representing at DGR Chicago. Willard says hello with Satin Black number 805. I remember you, Willard. In sunny Maple Shade, New Jersey. That Notre Dame tribute bike needs one of your premium fuel caps. You're right. If we put a Notre Dame logo on it, though, we had to carry $4 million of extra liability insurance. No joke. We've got a pretty hefty, I just paid the premium. We have a very beefy liability insurance package. As you can imagine, being a motorcycle manufacturer, I tell people we're like one tier below Human Cannonball for insurance coverage. And not enough for Notre Dame, so not enough for the Catholic Church. Somebody who it looks like maybe they spelled their name backwards. I hope so. Loving 450 number 130. Can you provide it? Oh yeah, got the link in there. Hey Craig. Hey Jeep Man Dan. Man, Jeep Man Dan needs a badge for being our most true blue live stream attendee. At least the one that says hello. I'm sure there's some lurkers in there. Oh, Tavern Green or Bayberry Green. That's cool. I like that. The color in your hand should be called Dusty Sage. I agree. I like it. We were just poking at you, 859. I hope that's your bike number. That would be cool. Does Janice offer a bud vase? I'm not sure what you're getting at, Paul. It's not legal here yet. I'm just joking about that, too. Let's go check out some bikes. I'm so glad to have you all here. We've got a great crew, and it's really fun to interact with you all virtually every other Friday. So let's go look at some bikes. We're going to look under the lights first, and then we'll see what else is on the floor. Our guy, Chad, who many of you have received a bike from in his Mad Max rig. He's our True Blue delivery guy. He just picked up about 12 motorcycles, and we've got a full room already again. So come on back through, and we'll look at these.
Yes, I am. Yep. We have a comment from Seth Mark.
Oh, great.
Speaking of insurance, I ran into some issues insuring the bike. Do we have any suggestions from the manufacturer on Janus-friendly insurance?
Yes.
And he said that would have been great as part of the sales as well.
There is a little blurb that goes out in one of the emails that folks get, and sometimes emails go to spam, so always check on that. But we do have a little advice column about insurance for Janus motorcycles. Geico has honestly been the truest and easiest one to get insurance for. Progressive, who I have my cars under, for better or worse, is the hardest. I don't know what Progressive's proprietary database is. They do not like Janus. I don't know why. I've joined every single federal and non-federal, and gotten my these bikes on every database I can. Progressive still doesn't like them. Allstate and State Farm are in between. Folks have struggled with Hagerty. If you're out on the West Coast, that's more popular. But Geico is easy, and you can get it online. The Lizard, he's taking care of us. So that's my recommendation for that. Here we are at bike 963. This is decked out. This is a perfect example of how to get everything on a Halcyon 250. It's got the number plate. It's got knobby tires. It's got a double pinstripe, which is gold and black, or really deep blue. It's got the headlight visor. It's got the eyelet bolts. Second mirror, polished bars. Gold outline on the logo.
Doesn't have highway bars.
Doesn't have highway bars
or
an
sprung
engraved
pillion
cap.
seat.
Yep. It has a deluxe tank. So the deluxe tank, if you're new to Janus, is just the polished aluminum. There's Jordan in the reflection. What does his face look like? He has a face for video. Jordan's a very good-looking young man, and we should get him on video more often. He's not one of those radio face guys like me. Double pinstripe with gold and black. I already did that. On the deluxe tank, so this is the polished aluminum reveal. The standard color for the Janus text on a 250 is black. We've also done some really cool, if you've got a different color in mind, talk to us. There's a small fee involved for that, but we've done gold text with like a black outline on a deluxe tank.
We do recommend a contrast though, because when you have it on the polished, if you do a silver or gold just without an outline, it kind of disappears.
Right. But if you got something goofy in mind or something that you think will be unique, we do bikes. This combination, I guarantee, has never been done before. And you start multiplying the options that you can get with double pinstripe and outline and color and deluxe or not and leather color and polish or not, and you start multiplying all those. There's thousands and thousands of iterations that you can get on a 250, and this is one of those great looks.
There's several here in the shop today.
Yeah, yeah.
that may never be replicated again either.
Yep. Our guy Poncho's got a deep purple with red and orange pinstripe. This has got a polished exhaust, and our exhausts have this awesome coloration that happens when you run it because it's a single wall exhaust. So if you're used to like a Harley or something, those are all double wall exhausts, which is why you don't have this kind of coloration happen on the bike. It also has the tool bag, which is this little roll top guy here in redwood leather, wide line seat, saddlebags, fishtail exhaust in the polished variety, and a book rack. So if you want to, so people, because you don't just walk into a dealership and sign your name and ride one home, there's kind of this, sometimes there's a confusion about how this happens. If you want to order a Janus motorcycle, you can place your deposit and know all of your details. You can place your deposit and know none of your details, and Mitch and Hannah are happy to help you out with that. Or you can be somewhere in between and you just say, I'm ready to do this. I don't know everything. We've seen thousands of these bikes go through here, and we are here to help. So do not let the getting started get in the way of getting a bike. It is really easy to get started, and we're here to help. Kelly, if you have a custom color in mind, Kelly will send a chip out, and she can do a little pinstripe on it and say, here's what it looks like. It's really fun. That's part of the fun. With risk of kind of being sticky, it's kind of like designing a home, or say you wanted to go to a custom log home designer and say, I want something completely different. There's a little bit of that in this, and the part of the fun is getting into like, what does the leather look like with this color, and what does the pinstripe look like on that? And we're here to help. It's a creative, collaborative process.
It's part of the fun.
Yeah. It's not like pointing at a value meal number at McDonald's, and that's part of the fun. Get into it a little bit with us, and don't let the getting started get in the way of getting what you want. This is the 250. I'm going to roll this 450 under the lights too.
Real quick, we have a question from Seth. Do we have a slim seat bike there? So we've shown you this is our wide line on the blue bike.
Let's look at Poncho's right here.
So here's a color that you won't see very often.
Mm-hmm. This is almost decked out in the same way. Sorry, I keep on using a first name. I don't know if I've just breached any privacy or something. I don't know his address. That's not even his real name. He goes by Poncho. Highway bars on this beautiful bike. This is how we ship the bikes with this blue protective film. This is not what we recommend keeping on it, but that's kind of keeps some of the shipping dust.
But this one and the one next to it both have the
Stay
stock
on track,
seat.
Right? This has the stock seat, which is a little thinner. If you come over one more bike, you can see the wide line seat in the black leather here. So the wide line, we called that is because the wide line on the seat matches the tank. On the regular seat, it's a little thinner. So that's just a choice. You don't have to pay special for either one. Either one come as an option.
And the wide line also has
butt pads,
little additional padding on each side.
Yep. You can see there's.
Once it's broken in, it really becomes more of a contoured and shaped.
Mm-hmm. Great. This is our cool pewter color. This is a newer color that we've. It's kind of got this kind of pearlescent sheen to it that's different than some of the other satin bikes that we've done.
We have a question. Are there any future plans to build a bigger bike than a 450, Grant? You want to answer that one again?
The 450 is plenty big. We don't have a secret lab anywhere. Nope. We do not have a 650 waiting behind a curtain anywhere. We've got plenty of work to do on the bikes that we have. And my little, I didn't try to make it a catchphrase, and it's not on my business card or anything. But this is our own little corner of the playground. And there's something really unique about, and in some ways the 250 encapsulates it more than the 450, about lightweight, easy to maintain, small displacement bikes. That this is our corner of the playground. This is the special sauce that Janus brings to the motorcycling world, and it's different. It's a completely different category than any other kind of motorcycling out there, in that it's what we were saying before is that we listen to these people that say, I'm just trying to, not relive the glory days, but my favorite bike of all time, and I've had 200 of them, was a Honda Trail 90, or it was a little Honda Dream, or something other than a Honda. And there's a kind of motorcycling out there that's not being addressed by the major manufacturers that we are. And that is lightweight. It's something that you can apprehend and you can feel agency over. You can maintain it yourself. You can improve it yourself. You can put your own stuff on it. You can wrench on it yourself. You can. It's a way different than the black box experience that you get from automobiles and major motorcycle manufacturers. Not that there's anything wrong with the space age technology that you get on a new BMW. It is truly a spaceship. It's awesome.
And this, I guess one way of saying that is this is how we are approaching that question of rambling.
Yeah,
with,
absolutely.
With a lightweight bike. So, really, when we came out with the 450, the 450 is, obviously, we put all of our experience and knowledge and skills that we've developed over the last 11 years into that bike, but it did kind of highlight how the 250 is
its own thing too.
Its own thing, and it's a wonderful. That's what I ride on a regular basis, and they're all different, but it reminded us of why we do small displacement bikes, and the 450 is totally in that. It's about 100 pounds more than the 250. If we were ever to do, which we're not, as Grant said, working on any other bigger 650s or anything like that, if we were to do one, it would be a lightweight. It would have to be a very, very lightweight one, and it probably wouldn't have a whole lot of horsepower like some sort of modern sport bike 650.
You ask about what the results of a bigger engine, what do you want out of a bigger engine? And most people think acceleration and highway speeds and a little face melting here and there. And I would implore you to try the 450 and get those revs up and get it on, I dare you to take a 450-90 before you tell us that you need a bigger bike.
We got a couple more comments here. We got that blue one, the one that we showed earlier, here at 963, would make a great U of M or Michigan bike.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Howard says, is there a time frame, I think he means time frame for the 450 book rack?
Very, 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 very soon.
Very, very soon. We were just talking about that this morning. We would like to get that up imminently for pre-order. Let's let Grant move this bike.
Sorry. Squeaky wheels.
Want to get those up for pre-order. All the work on that is essentially done. We need to get that up there. If you've watched some of Charlie's videos, the recent camping video, if you would like to, you could even strap a cast iron Dutch oven to your rear rack.
Hey, there's Charlie.
There he is.
You're like Wilson from Tool Time, right? Remember that show?
Okay, real quick, a couple more comments. Richard Lucy says hello. Guy recommends a division of Foremost Insurance, a division of Farmers Insurance Group. And then Howard also asks, I would like aftermarket handlebars that move the grips 2 inches closer to the seat. Do we have any suggestions? Yes, we do have suggestions. A lot of our owners have used something called a ROX riser, ROX riser. It bolts onto your existing handlebar clamps and your handlebars, and it just kind of pivots. So you can raise your handlebars a little bit or bring them back. And what we've discovered at least from most owners reporting back, is that you do not need to change your cables, because oftentimes if you change the handlebars and bring them back more, you're going to need longer cables. These typically work with our stock cables. That's what the report we hear is on that. So ROX risers are a great one, the 2-inch length.
Cable routing can be, I know.
You might have to kind of modify your routing a little bit.
Dave Branner put the ROX risers on, and he routed the cables in front of the. We can help you navigate that. It's 7/8 bars. Did you already say that? 7/8 diameter.
7/8 inches. So the same guy who asked about the larger bike says, love the bike, but too small for me. I'm 6'5", 280 pounds, so a 650 would be my smallest to ride. I would beg to differ with you, sir. I've ridden cross country at 6'6", almost 280 pounds, and did it in 6 days. These are also on a 250.
Yeah.
These are also designed by a pretty tall guy, so they fit better than some bigger bikes. So don't think...
Yeah, did you do the full body shot?
Yeah, Richard, do you want to sit on it? So you can see
Yeah,
it?
I'll sit on it here. I should have sit on a 250 because they're just as big.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll hop over here.
I'm going to put this on the gas cap.
I'll take it if you want.
Yeah, thanks. So when we designed it, let's just say a Kawasaki Concourse is my kind of comparison point. That's a 1,000 cc, 100 horsepower sport touring bike. Typically it's 680 pounds. I was much more cramped on my Concourse than on this bike. But just to kind of give you an idea,
Fits
ergonomically
great.
fits me very well.
Yep.
Feet up on the pegs. This is not a small bike, and our experience in terms of weight with a ride. I mean, we haul around sidecars, or owners have as well with the 250. You can ride 2 up with them. So it's not something that's going to that's designed for 2 up riding or hauling a sidecar, but it'll absolutely get you there. And larger, we have riders of all shapes and sizes that ride these bikes. So I think I would really say that is a modern misconception that anything under 650 is for small people. So
Great.
those are
Those
my
are
2
great.
cents.
Yep.
Got any more comments to wrap
Yes.
up?
Do you have the option of a herring can headlight? No, but I love a good tinned fish, Paul. Tool Time reference from Grant was awesome. Thank you, Jeep Man Dan. I used to watch that after dinner on our little tuner TV that was in black and white. It's crazy. My daughter is going to lose her brain when she finds out that I used to watch black and white TV. We still had that on our countertop. 450 number 106 here in Southwest Missouri has had good luck with hauler's insurance. Get stopped to talk and look at the bike every time I take it out. One guy followed me across town to have a look at it. Make sure you pack your pepper spray, David. I'm just kidding. That was very nice of him. Well said, Richard. Thanks, Richard. One Richard to another. Well said.
Thank you, Richard.
Richard. Do you offer 3 years roadside assistance like Royal Enfield? No, we do not, Forrest. We have a 4-year warranty on the 250, 2-year warranty on the 440. Roadside assistance would be a great consideration. That's a really good...
Yep.
I'm going to do some thinking about that. That's great. We always... one of the things we've tried to do here when we rolled out the warranty for the 250 is we joke that like we're never going to win any races, but what our performance is, especially with both bikes, is something that's easy to work on, easy to maintain, this bulletproof little engine, and that we'll stand behind and we'll help you guys. You know, anybody that owns one, hell or high water, we really try and make sure that the bikes are running great and people are having a good time on them. That's our performance. That's the performance specification that we aim for. So having a 4-year warranty standard on the 250s, we've learned enough about the 250s over time that we could probably put a 6 or an 8-year warranty on it, and it would just be like, I dare you to blow up your engine at 40,000 miles, and the marketing cost would have been worth it to give you a new engine. So they really are little bulletproof bikes. So that's what I have to say about that. That's all I've got. I'm going to walk through the 450 options here real quick. You can see on the 450, this is one of our kind of off-menu standard custom colors, Bengal Silver. It is not on the website, but maybe it should be. This is a beautiful color to get. It is so sharp. It's got a little flake or a little sparkle in it. This has a double black pinstripe with a gold feather. Just look at the way the emblem and the feather and the gold pop on that. It is so cool. The 450 has polished fins out of the box, so you can't get unpolished fins. I guess you could paint them yourself if you wanted. The 250 will polish the fins for you if you want. Saddle brown seat. I'm not sure if this bike gets saddlebags or not. Saddlebags are the last thing we put on a motorcycle. Any of the left stuff. So if you have a bike on order and you're like, where's my saddlebags? You get your photo album. It's the last thing we put on, and we bag the seat, put the tank film on it, and it's ready to go, like the bike you have behind you. Brushed exhaust. All bikes are stainless steel. It has stainless steel exhaust. You either get it brushed or polished. black powder-coated handlebars, second mirror. This is just a nice classic build.
They opted for no number plate.
No number plate, yeah. So this is what a bike looks like without the pedestrian slicer. It still has its number. It's still numbered on its build sheet, and you'll know what number you are. Some customers opt to get the number plate on the side, and they put it on their desk. They, make a little wood holder for it. That's kind of a fun opportunity if you ever decide to give it to your grandson or sell it, God forbid. It's fun to have the number plate alongside with it. If you have a motorcycle without a number plate and you decide you want a number plate on the side, we can do that for you. Eyelet bolts. That makes loading in and out.
Were you talking about these before?
Probably, but
Yeah, these are
not
really,
today.
really handy. Like we use these all the time if you're loading a bike on a trailer. They're just, I'm surprised more manufacturers don't supply those. Really, really handy. Don't have to worry about scratching your handlebar paint or whatever with a hook of a ratchet strap. Did you answer the question about somebody wanted to see a vintage red bike?
Oh,
There's
no, I
a
did not.
vintage
Sorry, I
red
missed that
450
one.
over here, and then there's
Yeah.
that one with the black
Great,
fenders.
yeah. Let's. I'm gonna cancel this microwave and Charlie's coffee.
Which one do you want to talk about?
Well, let's look. This one's got better light on it. We can just show a red. This is our vintage red. This is actually a customer bike in for service, I believe. This is a good example. This is actually one of the first owner's edition 450s, but a good example of our vintage red, which really is a classic color. Some of our first 50cc bikes use this exact color. So we've been using this from the early days. A neat satin black one over here,
Also,
kind of a hot rod
It looks so
color scheme. Let's see, just see if there's any other question. Is the redwood brown? Did you ask for that one?
Oh, I did not. Sorry, I missed a lot of
Is
questions.
redwood brown leather available on 450 number 176? Unfortunately, redwood leather is not available on the 450 line. We cannot use it on the way that the seats are upholstered. That leather does not work. So we only offer the saddle brown and the black right now. We would love to be able to find an oxblood color, but the kind of leather we had to go through a long process to make the brown leather work. Okay, let's just make sure there's nothing else here that I'm missing.
Look at this awesome. This is a great comparison between olive drab and satin olive drab.
Howard asks, do I order the ROX, he said ROS, it's ROX, ROX risers from Janus. No, you can order those yourself. Have we ever done that?
Revzilla is a great.
Yeah, Revzilla, just look them up, Google ROX risers, and they're very easy to install. Bill, what's the sticker on the tank just in front of the seat? That sticker is a sticker that tells you that you need to wear a helmet, that you shouldn't overfill the fuel tank, that you should only use unleaded fuel, and that you should perform daily safety checks. It's just a kind of a reminder that we stole from old Hondas that say, always wear a helmet, which we believe.
You can do whatever you want with the sticker once it's yours, but every bike leaves the shop with one.
It's true. Can we have a look at that satin black one, unless it's been done already?
Satin black.
I think he meant this one over here.
Oh yeah, great, yeah.
This is a really neat looking bike. I mean, the cream, and this is actually the vintage red, I believe, or close to it, on this satin. It really has I think a white walls would look pretty good on this too.
Yep.
Has a hot rod feel. This is one of our 450s. This one is number 150.
In for an oil change.
In for an oil change, yep. Black leather. Here's your black 450 seat. Polished exhausts, polished handlebars. Trying to think of any other upgrades on this guy. Number plate. Really good looking bike though. Yes, white walls. Well, that's kind of a good walk around of all the different options and kind of a good example of how it's difficult to find two Janus bikes that
Yep.
are identical because
Absolutely.
there's so many different ways that every owner can customize their bike, really make it their own, from anything as simple as the main color of the bike. Ooh, this is a neat one, black.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
I
isn't
haven't
that
seen
cool?
that one.
Yeah, it's got a little
Look at that.
understated black outline on the Griffin too. It's cool.
It's really fun to walk in the back of the shop and see what people have chosen. But anyway, from anything as simple as the primary color down to custom fuel cap engraving, which we can help you with if you have a logo you want to convert to be engraved in the cap. Some people have all the employees in the shop sign their chain guard. That's a popular thing to have done, which is kind of neat if you're into that. And did we talk about this one over here, or do we want to feature that later with the video?
We'll do that later.
Okay.
It's coming up later.
Sounds
Great.
good.
Richard Lucy, can we order touch-up paint from you all? Yes, you can. Kelly makes this nice little vial and she sends it to you. Touch-up paint for the pinstripe is a little different. Touch-up paint for powder, just be clear on what you got and let us know which I think you've got bike 79 or 72 or something, if I remember, Richard. But yes, absolutely, we can supply that. It should be on the website. It's not, but we'll work on that. Let's go back over to our seat.
Back to where we started.
If any of those strikes your fancy, it's time to put your order in. The lead times are stretching out. 250 lead time is out to about 10 weeks, like your build window. That's not including shipping time. So if you pick it up, you can pick it up as soon as it's certified and ready to roll. Sometimes shipping takes several more weeks. We prioritize keeping the bikes safe here in the shop until they go out on a Janus or Janus contractor shipment, which means that they get there very quickly once they leave, but sometimes it takes a while to orchestrate that. So if you are wanting to ride a Janus motorcycle this summer, now is the time to order. 450 and 250.
And we have some specials?
Yes. $250 off any 250, $450 off any 450. You can, like I said earlier, don't let the getting started get in the way of getting going on it. If you want to place your deposit online, the discount is reflected on the deposit, and you put in the notes and say, I have no idea what color I want. This is just a start. You can do that. If you have everything figured out, you can do that. If you're somewhere in between, you can do that. We always confirm colors, excuse me, colors, pinstripe, and kit before we put it into production. So whatever you put in the website, it's not set in stone. Don't let it get in the way of getting started.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to show up to a Notre Dame tailgate in the highest style of all,
there you go.
This thing is for sale right now.
Yep.
Call us, talk to Hannah,
Yep.
And it can be yours.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We are here every other week. Join Richard on the Ramble stream Sunday night. Check out the rest of our YouTube channel if you want to learn more about what we're doing. We're really glad you're here, and it's really fun hanging out with y'all.
Lead time on 450s, did we just say that?
Lead time on 450s is a couple weeks shorter than 250s, but not long. So,
We've
sorry,
caught up.
but not, yes, yeah, yeah, it used to be about 18 months. Now we've worked very hard to get our lead time down. Your build window on a 450 is like 7 to 9 weeks, not counting shipping. So that's when your, kind of your lead time is for getting it into production. There is one 450 on the floor ready for sale. There's a couple 250s ready for sale. Other than that, now is a great time to get your order in. So you guys have a wonderful weekend. If you're riding, ride safe, put your helmet on, put your phones in your pockets, and ramble on, right?
Ramble on. Thank you so much.
See you guys later.
Bye-bye.